In fact, it's never been a question about who stands out unique in best radio programming.
Raise your glasses, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, let's close
and it can never be a question about who we are. We are Smooth 98.1.
Thank you very much for joining us. Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. You're very welcome to today's edition of Lagos Talks 981. I am Ayo Mairo-Ese. It is now 8:13 a.m., actually going on very quickly to 8:14 a.m., and we are live. Today, our focus would be on the unease in forex markets as dollar heads towards 550 naira to a dollar. And this report we took earlier on from the Guardian newspaper, but beyond that, it's just a general look at the recent announcement by the CBN on BDCs in Nigeria. And this is, according to what they've said, to curtail to curtail money laundering, the facilitation of money laundering and other forex infractions by BDCs. Now, on today's show, I have with me our very special guest, who's going to be speaking to us on the impact of this announcement. If you're tuning in, you can go onto our YouTube channel right now to see what's happening, and that's on youtube.com/smooth981. Lagos FM. And then you can also send a message to us on WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. Again, that's 0809 444 0981. Our guest is a financial analyst and seasoned operations professional who has built a career in the financial services sector for close to 2 decades. He's currently the MD of a foremost technologically driven bureau de change in Nigeria that provides its services using world-class processes, structures, and technology to redefine the BDC business in Nigeria. Please make very welcome Ayodele Balogun. Good morning, Ayodele. Great to have you on the show today.
Thank you for welcoming me to the show. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Now, Ayodele, of course, I'm sure you're aware of this. Maybe the first question I should ask you as a BDC operator yourself, what's your first response? Number one is, given a background to this was, we'd asked the question yesterday as to how much notice the CBN gave to BDC operators like yourself, if it was sufficient, and what the reaction was when you got the information.
Okay, so the way it happens is usually when CBN wants to come up with policies such as this, the notice is always minimal. Actually, there's no notice towards it. The next thing you see, it comes on air, and then we get the information the same way every other person gets the information when things like this happen in the BDC market. Okay.
So is it intentional? And then the next question I asked you was what your response was to, you know, as a BDC operator yourself, or hearing or seeing that news that they would stop funding with Forex.
Okay, so the initial response, the initial reaction to the news would be like that of a shock, because you don't know what to expect. Sometimes when the policies come up and you're beginning to think, okay, what direction is the CBN going to? What is expected of us as BDC operators? What do they want us to do now? There's so much uncertainty in the air, and you can't really put a finger to what is expected. So it creates a little bit of panic. Sometimes you're not sure what to do next. And you begin to re-strategize. How do you work? What are the things you need to put in place? And so on and so forth.
All right, thank you very much. So in view of this suspension of the sale of Forex to BDCs like yourselves, like your organization, what would you say is the implication of the policy on the financial sector and the Nigerian economy at large?
Okay, so first let me do a quick background to the policy based on the news from the CBN governor recently. Um, CBN says it has ended the sales of forex to bureau d'change operators, and they're saying that the parallel market has become a conduit for illicit forex flows and graft. Also, they said international bodies, NGOs, embassies, and donor agencies have been complicit in illegal forex dealings, and they have used the bureau d'change operators as a conduit to which they pass in inflows of such foreign exchange. This is needed for those of our audience that do not have an idea of what is going on. So CBN at the moment is saying that they are no longer going to process application for BDC licenses in the country. Also, they are saying that the weekly sales of foreign exchange by CBN to the bureau d'change operators will henceforth go directly to commercial banks to serve for requests such as PTAs, BTAs, tuition fees, medical payments, SME transactions, amongst other things. CBN categorically did not state if everything that is being given to the bureau de change operators will be given to the banks, but they said a significant portion of it will be given. So the question now begins to arise. What is the significant portion? The significant portion of it, will it be enough to take care of the demands that will come from clients? Basically, on your question, you said the implication of the policy on the financial sector. Um, CBN has a very good intention. Let's be very clear about that. Okay, they have a very good intention, which is to stabilize the naira.
Yes.
However, CBN's approach to realizing this intention, if we look at it, will cause a lot of panic and instability in the FX market. You don't cut off the head of a baby because the baby is crying from headache. That's the way it seems, as in to the layman.
Yeah.
There are yeah, that might be a solution to cut off the head. I mean, to cut off the head, the baby will stop crying, of course. But
Yeah.
the question is that the best solution? Internationally, this does not give a good credence for the work CBN has been doing so far. CBN has been excellent with the policies trying to meet the various demands of the economic nature of the country in itself. It might discourage investors that's coming from nowhere. A policy like that comes up and it is with immediate effect. How do you run an operation that you license, an operation that you regulate, an operation that you collect fees for subscription, for supervision, monitoring from? How do you ban such an operation? Something that is directly under your control. It will simply discourage the investor who has had the confidence of operating in Nigeria, but knows that at any time his license can be revoked.
Yeah.
The same way the BDC licenses have been revoked. You can also look at it that
so have their licenses been revoked? Someone did ask that question earlier during Freshly Pressed, that it's just they've just suspended sale of forex to them. Does this imply as well that their licenses have been revoked?
No, licenses have not been revoked at the
Okay.
moment.
Okay.
Okay. But what constitutes a major part of BDC operations is what has been banned. It's like removing the engine of a car.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So
and effectively making them, yeah.
Yes, and this is not
It's
the first time
empowering
this will happen. Yes,
All right.
It's yeah.
But now you talked about how it will make the market volatile, and we saw a bit of that yesterday. Yesterday, the naira traded at about 510 naira to a dollar in Lagos, but fell to around 525 naira per dollar as at press time of the Guardian. Now in Abuja, the Guardian also learned the currency traded at 530 naira to a dollar, inching towards 550 naira to a dollar. Before the new decision, the naira was stable at about 503 to a dollar. So what would you say, the immediate, and this is an immediate impact on the Nigerian forex rates? What do you think, what would you postulate would be the long-term impact?
Immediately, like you said, without collecting any fee from you or any charge, naira will weaken against the dollar. This is merely as a result of speculation and panic in the market. Like I said initially, nobody knows what direction the effect of the policy is going to take at the moment. and the need for operators and consumers of FX alike to have an idea of the direction of this policy would further help to stabilize the value of the naira at the moment. In the long term, the forces of demand and supply will come into play. That is what usually happens. This is what even drives the rates at the parallel markets with the Bureau de change operators normally. It's just the forces of demand and supply. When you have high demand in the market, usually it drives up the rates. When you have high supply in the market for FX, it drives down the rates and the naira is strengthened against the dollar. If the banks are unable to meet the needs of our teaming clientele at the moment or in the long-term future, based on what CBN proposes to do, then we can expect an increase in the rates. It's going to get much more worse than what we have at the moment. However, if the banks are adequately equipped to meet the demands of the client, then of course we can expect something that will merge with the CBN official rates, just with the something that would achieve the intention of CBN. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much indeed for that. If you're just tuning in, it's Lagos Talks 981 special, and we're looking at the CBN directive or the CBN announcements that they're going to stop the sale of Forex to BDCs in Nigeria and also suspend issuing licenses to new BDCs. To join me to have this conversation, I have Ayodele Balogun, MD of one of the technology-driven BDCs here in Nigeria. We're going to break right now. You don't forget, you can be a part of the conversation by sending in your message to our WhatsApp platform, or perhaps if you're watching on YouTube, you can send your message through the live chat option. We'll also open the phone lines very shortly after this break. Stay tuned. It's Smooth 98.1.
I'm Marie, and you're listening to Smooth 98.1. Don't go anywhere.
What's the name of your organization, or would you rather not mention?
I will, maybe during the course of the discussion, I'll find a place to mention it. You know, the Nigeria, sometimes you have to be careful about a few things, and I will mention it as the discussion goes on.
Exciting prices in the Save and Win pilot promo. Download the Union mobile app to open an account or visit Paris Union Bank branch. Terms and conditions apply. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
My son has always dreamt of being in the spotlight. As a mother, it's my duty to help him live up to his dream. Big dreams require practice and consistency. That's why his immunity needs to work, so that he can take small steps every day till he can run.
Our next star performer is the ballerino dancer.
I give him Bone Vita every day, which contains iron, zinc, and vitamin C that supports his immunity.
So open the phone lines now.
Strength to pursue his dreams.
Okay.
Bone Vita, strength to dream.
Are you kids having fun?
Yes, Daddy.
Do you want anything else?
No, Daddy, we're fine.
There's still room for more. Let's get some more ice cream. Then a movie.
But Daddy, you always say every day is not Christmas.
Well, that was then. This is now. With Visa, you get 10% extra cash back when you spend a minimum of 60,000 naira or $150 equivalent in at least 3 transactions. Ask your bank for your Visa card today to get extra. Terms and conditions apply. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
Love music. Love life. Love life.
Music is life. Music is a blessing. Music is smooth.
98.1.
I am Kule Ayo.
Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. You're very welcome. It's still Lagos Talks 981. And on today's show, we're looking at the suspension of Forex sales to BDCs as announced by the Central Bank of Nigeria's governor, Godwin Emefiele. We're looking at its sustainability and implication and sustainability. And to have this conversation with us, we have BDC executive Ayodele Balogun. Again, Ayodele, thanks for joining me on today's conversation.
Thank you.
All right, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, we're streaming live on YouTube. So head on to youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. Now, if you also want to send in a message, please do so using this WhatsApp number, 0809 444 0981. In the event that you'd like to call us, we can also take your telephone call. You can send your telephone, you can call us on 0144 899 81. That's 00144899981. Sean says, Is it today that business licenses have been essentially revoked overnight? It still happened recently with the bike hailing firms in Lagos. They formalized their operations and paid this week. They got kicked out the next week. Even 10,000 naira, I cannot invest in Nigeria as a foreign investor. Now, Ayodele, this goes to your point as to, the perception from potential foreign investors and policy making in Nigeria and how it can just be upturned or there can be a shaking, immediate shaking, and so it doesn't quite boost investor confidence. Now, for the foreseeable challenges with the commercial bank, what are the solutions to the foreseeable challenges that we might have with commercial banks? As they've said that the CBN is going to channel Forex through commercial banks. Ayodele? Okay, I do believe there's a bit of a network challenge. Ayodele, if you can hear me, please kindly come through. I know that I can see you, but I cannot hear you. We're looking at the unease in Forex market as dollar heads towards 515 naira to a dollar. This report is in the Guardian newspaper, and it's quite detailed as it measures some of the feedback from a number of stakeholders with regards to the ban on, or not, let me not use the word ban, my apologies, the stoppage of selling of Forex to BDCs by the CBN. Victor Ogiemoye, a retired investment banker, weighs in on this. In his opinion, he said the dollar could hit 600 naira soon and said weeding out BDCs was the strong medicine the FX needs to regain its stability. He also admitted that the decision was abrupt, but reasoned that the Apex Bank could have considered certain peculiarities. A financial expert, David Andori, who is the vice chair of a Securities Limited, disagreed, saying the move could take the market further away from the planned convergence and increased inefficiency of allocation. He noted the adoption of investors and exporters, I&E, as the default official rate was a move towards rate convergence, but the action against BDCs and the recourse to banks is a move away from the convergence plan. We are reverting to the administrative allocation of the dollar, and that would not support inefficiency. Let me see if I have Ayodele back. Hello, Ayodele, can you hear me? Ayodele, are you on? All right, okay, so Ayodele is still having challenges. Please let me know once you come up so we can take on just a few other things. And then a former CBN Deputy Governor, Dr. Badaya Melafia, at a media roundtable organized by the Punch newspaper, said commercial banks in the country cannot be trusted with Forex sales, adding that they will corner the dollars and only release whatever that is left after satisfying their interests. This has come up as well with regards to our commercial banks themselves trustworthy in terms of how they would, in terms of making available Forex to customers. This is another concern. He goes on to say that if we're not careful, that decision will actually worsen the Naira value because the BDCs, you could walk into any of them anywhere and within 5 minutes, they will attend to you. But the banks, you have to drive to your nearest bank and queue most of the time before you are attended to. And a number of people have talked about the nightmare they envision with regards to trying to obtain PTA, BTAs, dollars for health reasons, for school fees and the likes. So far, someone sent in a message yesterday that they went into the bank and it was a smooth transaction. So perhaps with this new directive, you are eyewitness reporters. You can share with us what you think, what your experiences have been like, so that we can get a better understanding and an actual understanding of the impact. Good morning, Ayodele, are you still here?
Yes, I'm back on.
Excellent. Sorry. Thank you. No, it's okay. I can understand the challenges, the unique challenges of internet facility in Nigeria. All right. Okay, Ayodele, so before you went off, I was asking you how some of the foreseeable challenges that commercial banks will face with regards to now being the only ones that Forex will be channeled through by the CBN, and what the solution to some of these challenges are.
Okay. Already at the commercial banks, it takes like a month to process utilization of FX through mediums such as Form M, Form A, and the likes. PTAs and BTA takes days at times, and most times you don't even get FX complete at $4,000 or $5,000 as it may be for whatever request you're making. If this scenario continues, then the pressure will automatically bounce back to the parallel market. What is the laid down procedure for obtaining FX at the banks for the different needs at the moment, based on what CBN is saying? The PTA, the BTA, tuition fees, medical payments, and most especially for PTA and BTA, it's very easy to, because people are used to that already. But for SME needs, okay, transactions that are supposed to, that require a little bit of FX that is more than the 4,000, 5,000 that we normally get from PTA and BTAs. What is the laid down procedure for obtaining such FX from the banks? Can they be fully made public so that there can be a standard? There is no ambiguity or policy variation. You go to a bank A today, bank A tells you that this is what is required. You go to a bank B today, bank B tells you that this is what is required. There are different policies, variation from bank to bank on what customers need to obtain their FX. Yes, CBN has dropped numbers to call and channels for complaints, but is CBN in itself adequately equipped to handle the number of complaints they might likely get? That's another question we should ask.
Very true.
Will banks also be banned same as BDCs if, for example, the rates get worse? So, like I was saying initially, it's you don't cut the head of the baby because the baby is crying from headache. You look for a solution to the headache and see how things can be done. So the foreseeable challenges with the commercial banks, if they are not also adequately prepared for this, will make the naira to weaken against the dollar. It will only get worse if there is no adequate preparation at the background more than what we see on the surface.
All right, thank you very much. So we've talked on the challenges of the commercial banks and possible ways to mitigate these foreseeable challenges. How about the suggested solutions to the macroeconomic challenges in view?
Okay, the major issue is Nigeria is not generating enough revenue to cover its cost of existence at the moment. That is the idea that we have out here. Reduced income from crude oil is also a major factor. As a result, Nigeria needs more FX to run our own operations as a country. CBN has tried in so many ways to encourage remittances of FX into the country with a few laudable policies, and they are very good policies. CBN has been at the top of our game to ensure that enough FX is generated, but over time it has proven not to be enough. Nigeria as a country is a net importer, if we are to look at it. We do more of imports than exports in the country, ranging from raw materials to finished goods. However, if we are going to change the equation, we need to start exporting more. The question then arises, as a government, what are the export goods we want to be known for as a country? You go to some countries and you know that this is what this country is known for as an export. But apart from crude oil that we are known for today, what are the other things we are doing to improve revenue into the country, FX revenue into the country? What is the quality of goods we want to export? Where does SON come in? Can the quality of our goods compete with the quality of the goods out there if we export them? Have we created an enabling environment enough to favor the production of such goods at the cheapest cost possible? When you begin to consider things like power supply, multiple taxes, cost of transportation, and so on and so forth. There needs to be a strong political will that drives through the spine of every citizen in achieving these goals. And on the general view, the government needs a lot more than the political will, but also implementation of our own ideas and seeing it through to generate more FX into the economy.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Ayodele. Now, what is APCON, that's the Association of BDC Bureau de Change Operators in Nigeria's intervention in sanitizing the subsector over the years? What has been, because they've been accused, like you also started in your presentation, as to facilitating money laundering, the profit margin being, incredible. What are some of the things that they've done in the past to sanitize the subsector over the years?
Okay. The Association of the Bureau de Change Operators in Nigeria, that is APCON, through the leadership of Alhaji Aminu Gwadabe, has tried in every capacity to ensure they work operatively with CBN. The body wields strong directive powers over our members, that is the BDCs, and it's too relevant to be ignored in the scheme of things. In conjunction with CBN, the regulatory body, that's CBN, the APCON organized trainings, sensitize our members on so many updates as a direction from CBN. Over time, they hold meetings with CBN to propose solutions to issues in the FX market and even deploy. Recently, not too long ago, they deployed some form of development with respect to how we can easily converge as BDCs to have an idea of what is happening in the market. Even a website was even opened recently, not too long ago, NigeriaBDCs.com, to guide operators and clients alike on affairs, on things happening in the BDC market. APCON still remains a strong body to drive the policy of CBN if CBN is to realize our intention of driving the rates down. You cannot go outside APCON to control the BDCs. There needs to be a cooperative work hand in hand between APCON and CBN. Over time, what has happened is APCON usually seeks the guidance of CBN. What do you want to achieve? And they relay the messages down to the BDCs to ensure that they drive the intention of CBN in the market. APCON cannot be overlooked. They cannot be overlooked in trying to achieve what CBN wants to achieve.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. It would be really good to hear if they were consulted or if there was at least any form of consultation, roundtable discussions around these concerns from the CBN before this announcement was made. But finally, because I know you have to go, Ayodele, and thanks very much for joining us this morning. What's your firm's approach to BDC business in the 21st century?
Okay, ProTrade, I work with ProTrade BDC.
Okay.
And as a company, we realize the shortcomings of the nation compared to other developed countries and has tried to develop models through which we can operate independently, autonomously to meet the demands of our clients in the most convenient and easy way. In other climes, the major sources of FX is through tourism. You go to countries like the United States, Dubai, all over the country, all over the world, you see tourism driving inflow of FX into the country. At the moment, Nigeria is a little low on tourism, but at ProTrade, we realize there are people in the country who have $100 here, a $500 there to change, either to buy or to sell. We have created trade platforms such as our website, www.protradeng.com, where you can legitimately and easily trade for purchases or sale of FX at the comfort of your home, develop cards that can be used to make FX transactions, created loyalty programs for our clients, and with a lot of upcoming developments to create more ease for our clients. But for now, all I want to say is, whatever your need, your one-stop shop to meeting your FX needs is on www.protradeng.com. You can also visit our social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram through ProTradeNG. That's our handle. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that's really clever, and you're very right in terms of the little, drops of water making a mighty ocean. Sometimes focusing on the little, here and there to build in something even bigger. A big thank you very much to Ayodele Balogun, who's been speaking to us on the new directive by the CBN on its sale of Forex to BDCs in Nigeria. We look forward to what would happen in the next few days. Of course, looking at the Forex market, looking at its effect on the economy, and generally if this directive from the CBN would be sustained. Thank you very much, Ayodele. Have a lovely day. We're going to break. When we come back, if we have more telephone calls, I'll be taking those. Or if you have messages to send, I'll also take them. Also, perhaps you want to respond to any of the stories that we have talked about and maybe beyond the BDC headline, please also send me a message. Would love to hear, or call me on 0144899981. Would love to get your take on this one. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Colin Zasukwa. Stay tuned to Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life.
All right, thank you to our YouTube viewers. Would now be leaving now. Thank you very much, Ayodele. Have a wonderful rest. Continue the conversation on. Thank you.
Thank you.